Welcome to Dig It, a real estate podcast by Hubble Realty Company.
Hi, everybody. My name is Laura Meinert. I am the sales and marketing specialist with Hubble Homes, and I am joined today by Amelia Klatt of the Des Moines Partnership. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
We're excited to have you. We are here to talk about everything events related. It is a big part of my job, even though it is not in my title. I have been doing events probably over 10 years in some capacity. Amelia, tell me a little bit about you.
Yeah, so events kind of fell into my lap. I went to Drake. That's how I got to Des Moines. And I did an internship my senior year with the Muscular Dystrophy Association. And that's kind of what catapulted me into the event world, I would say. And then after that, the rest is history. So I've been doing nonprofit events ever since I graduated. So quite a while here. I started at the Blank Park Zoo. And then went back to my alma mater at Drake and did alumni events for quite a while. And then I landed the Greater Des Moines Partnership for 3 years. So it's been a lot of fun. I've done a wide variety of events, anything from very small to very large. So very grateful for that.
That's what I'm excited to hear about yours, because I feel like events are similar but very different, especially on the scale. For example, I'm planning a food truck in a couple weeks for maybe 40 people, and you guys are farmers market and thousands of people. So.
Hey, those 40 people events are just as impactful. So super important too.
Like I said, I'm doing a lot of smaller events. We have a lot of realtor-focused events. I'm on the Hubble Home side, as I said. I'm also dealing with internal events. On the corporate side, I lead up our activities committee, as we call it.
Yes, she does.
Yes. So employee engagement over here, we're trying. We do, food days. We do Halloween costume contests. I don't know if I can. Oh, it'll be out when we say, we just got approved for a state fair afternoon.
Ooh,
I know.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. What all will that entail?
Not a lot other than please meet at the fair. We are not allowed to say meet at a beer tent, but That's
There's
what I was told
subtle
anyway.
underlying message there
Yes,
somewhere.
it's meet at the old mill. Don't meet at the bud tent.
Sure.
But yes, so we have a state fair day coming up. What else do we have planned? That's it kind of so far. But yeah, we have our Gray Station Summer Concert Series, which is one of our big downtown events. What else do you guys have?
Yeah, I would say the biggest event that we have going on is the Downtown Farmers Market. Runs May through October, every single Saturday. So that's where our team spends a lot of our time in the summer, making sure that everyone in Des Moines is enjoying their time at the farmers market for those 26 weeks. And wildly, we've seen over 40,000 people. That's the average that we've seen the first 9 weeks of the farmers market. So it's been a lot of fun. We've had really great weather. I can't believe I just said that out loud. I'm going to knock on wood for the last few weeks here that we have at the farmers market. But that's our number one focus right now.
It's crazy to meet so many people.
Yeah.
Is that higher than usual? That just seems big.
Yeah, the weather has absolutely played a large role in the attendance numbers. We also expanded the footprint of the farmers market this year, one block, so that adds 10 to 15 vendors each week, which pushes us over 200 vendors on site every single week, which is incredible. Yeah, so we have a roster of over 300 vendors throughout the whole season, and 200 of them are normally on site every single week. So.
Crazy. Do you lead up finding the vendors, and is it the same every week, or does it kind of shift a little bit?
We have quite a few vendors that are there every single week. Those farmers that are there pretty much 26 week. We have quite a few occasional vendors, but some of those occasional vendors are there 24 out of the 26 weeks. So not quite occasional to me, but we love having all of the different varieties of vendors there. We have a really great team who helps facilitate who's on site every single week. So while I don't play a factor in who's there every single week, there's a team that does that. So it's great. Yeah.
I was like, usually it's just me doing most of our events, or maybe maybe somebody else when I drag people in, but it sounds like you guys obviously need a lot of people. How many people do you have helping you out?
We have 6 people on the events team that are working on. We have one that's solely focused on the farmers market, and then the rest of us are just kind of support to that person. So our farmers market manager, Elizabeth, is really great. She's in her first year, but she's done a lot of really great things already. So really excited to see her growth moving forward and how the vendors interact with her as she moves on.
Very cool. I guess one of my bigger questions too, I was thinking when I plan an event, usually I'm at spaces, they're set up for events, but the farmers market is not set up for events.
Yeah.
Kind of give us a little background. What goes into your thought process on, the farmers market, you're doing it every year. You kind of have a plan, but do like the logisticals behind the scenes change it all from year to year, week to week?
Yeah, it's always incredible to me that, we show up at 4:30 in the morning on Court Avenue to see.
Early.
You get used to it when you're there.
Do you get Northern Vessel coffee before they actually open?
Not before they open, but we definitely like to go to a bunch of our coffee vendors throughout the season, definitely every single week. But yeah, so we show up at 4:30 and we have to, unfortunately, tow some cars sometimes because they're in vendor spots. But that's something that we've gotten used to. And then the vendors are allowed to start setting up at 5 o'clock. So the market opens at 7. So there's a lot that goes into it beforehand. A completely empty street just turns into this vibrant, almost like festival every single week, which is so fun to see. And it's different every single week, which I think is so fun. There are those staple vendors that we talked about that are there every single week, but it's always fun to see the new vendors that are new to the market that year, or maybe they haven't been at the market yet that season. So it's always great, and there's always so many fun, different things that I learn every single week. But we wouldn't be able to do the farmers market with a lot of the partners that we have. So we work closely with the city of Des Moines, the police department, the fire department, just to make sure that we have everything under wraps that we need every single week. And then our team does a lot of the heavy lifting. We set up quite a few tents every single week. So
you are tent experts. I feel like, Laura, you're getting there if you're not already.
Yeah, so we have a couple tents. So our Gray Station Summer Concert Series, we've kind of expanded it a little bit to include some vendors and non-profit organizations. I think we had one a couple weeks ago, and we had a couple extra tents, and somebody came by himself and he was like, please help me set up my tent. I was like, we got it. We're fast at this by now. Yeah. But the other comment I always hear is we should make this into the farmers market. And I'm like, we cannot get on level with the actual farmers market. I am happy if 2 or 3 other vendors that are not Hubble Homes or Gray Station come. So cannot imagine the extent of yours.
I always joke with the team that we need to have like an event setup boot camp, like how to set up a tent, how to put the weights on the tent, how to pack a truck using Tetris and things like that. So
I think if you held an event clinic, a lot of other companies and people might attend that. Just to honestly, because you are the professionals I
might have to put that in my back pocket.
Just slip it in there. Just see.
I do know how to put a pop-up tent by myself pretty quickly. So I always joke with them too that we should do a timed pop-up tent setup, but they're not ready for the challenge. They told me.
Love a good competition.
I was like, I just snapped off a snap on one of our tents a couple weeks ago, and then the last time we tried to use it, everyone's like, what do I do? I'm like, hit the red button. They said, it's not there. I said, oh yeah, I broke it off. It's in my car right now. Can't help you.
Yeah, we have a few tents that we, have a few special pieces for too, so totally understand that.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
So beyond the farmers market, what else do you guys have planned this summer? Like I said, we have our summer concert series. We have some realtor things, but summer's our big season, but we don't have too much planned beyond that.
Sure. So the World Food and Music Festival is going to be at the end of August, so August 23rd through 25th. It's our 20th anniversary of the event. Wow. So really looking forward to the programming that's going to happen. That'll take place in Western Gateway Park. It started over in the East Village, and it moved over to Western Gateway Park in 2017. So we're excited to occupy that space again for that weekend. We will have 59 food vendors that are representing 30 different countries, which is really cool. And then one other really important piece is We'll have 6 Spark DSM business incubator vendors, which started at our farmers market in 2022 and has grown into our other events. So those are vendors that are looking for some business coaching and some opportunities to get into some of those larger scales events, but maybe just don't know how to get in. So we provide spaces for them to come sell their products, showcase their small business, and that's one of my favorite pieces about the farmers market and the World Food and Music Festival. But there will be 2 stages at the festival, which is also always a fun time, and then plenty of other programming. So we work with Cultural on our cultural stage and our cultural activity pavilion to really provide some of those experiences and highlight some of those cultures that are right here in Des Moines. And I would not be able to do the event without our sponsors. So that is also really important to us. Veridian is our presenting sponsor of the festival this year. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite events to produce. But like the farmers market, pops up a few days before and then is shut down, and we have the street cleaned back up by midnight on Sunday. So
fast.
Very early and very late is what we're finding out about events. And what would we recognize any of those Spark DSM from like the past, that have businesses today? Would we recognize some names?
Yeah, so one of them is Nadia's French Bakery, which is now open. She has a storefront on Grand Avenue. Mm-hmm. She started in the Spark DSM program in 2022. Tulpa, which is over by Merle Hay. They have I believe it's Peruvian cuisine. They're one of the Spark vendors, and then they've also become vendors at the farmers market pretty much full time, and they'll also be at the World Food and Music Festival. So it's been really rewarding to see these businesses start in the program and then continue on into our events, and some of them open storefronts. So
do they have to then apply to be in the program, or how? You said since 2022 for some of them, so they are in it for an extended period, it sounds like.
Yeah, so they are in it for 1 year. So if they were in it in 2022, they're not necessarily in the program anymore. We do offer quite a bit of wraparound services. So if they want to learn more about marketing, accounting, whatever that looks like for their business, we try to tailor the program to how it will be beneficial to them. So, cool. Yeah.
The outreach.
Yeah, it's been a really great program. We've we have had quite a few businesses in the program from 2022, 2023, and 2024. 2023 is when we expanded it from just the farmers market to our other events like the World Food and Music Festival and Out to Lunch. So it's been really rewarding, and we like to give them different opportunities. The farmers market is so much different than Out to Lunch or the World Food and Music Festival. So just providing some of those different opportunities to see what all of the events are like is really great too.
Your Out to Lunch series this year has looked huge. I don't know.
It was great.
It has looked big from years past.
I know. I'm saying we were going to jump in on one, but then we dropped the ball and we
get closer to the
mic.
I
know. So sorry. Well, I'm ashamed that we dropped the ball on being in the Out to Lunch. We were like, we're going to do it. And then it just never came through.
Out to Lunch is great.
They go real fast. The summer just flies by. It's July, guys.
I know. Okay. How is it July?
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, Out to Lunch was really great this year. We had 7 different locations that we went to this year. So that was really fun, moving throughout downtown and different businesses. And the weather was once again really great. So
we're really going to have to do some rain dances or like
yes,
we have to do something after this, because we've really jinxed ourselves with the weather.
Please, just during the World Food and Music Festival, that's the only weekend I really care if the weather
75 and sunny vibes, right?
Yeah, last year it was like 105 degrees. So I'd take that over rain too. So
sure, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say my other question about the World Food is, do you have a favorite food? Because I'm assuming you've done this multiple years.
Ooh. You have to choose.
If you could only pick a couple, because I've been before, but I have not gone for maybe 2-3 years.
Yeah, well, one of my other favorite things about the festival is there's $2 taste items. So that's one of the things I love to do, is just walk around and try the $2 taste item. I love the egg roll ladies dumplings. Those are one of my favorites. That that's really hard. There's with over 50 vendors there, it's so hard to choose.
Yeah, and the samples make it easy. So you're like, I don't know, everything's delicious.
Yeah, it's a really great part of the festival. That's definitely one of my favorite pieces. And do you have a favorite? Do you remember?
Like I said, I haven't been for a couple of years, but whenever I go, well, farmers market wise, I always get pelmenis.
Yeah, those are so good.
Next to the one coffee place that I don't know what the name of it is.
Iowa Coffee Company.
I get Iowa Coffee, and then I get pelmenis, and then usually I'm good.
Yeah, you can get those at the World Food and Music Festival as well.
I'm a sucker for any pupusa. Honestly, though, I eat everything. I'm not picky. And so, again, I'm probably going to go on the $2, food tour. And can you guys talk about just making events accessible for people, too? Because, I mean, again, having a $2 food item is nice because you can try a lot for a lower cost, or you can still experience these events for free. Grace Station Concert Series is also free live music. Can you just talk about that a little bit? Because that's a big deal for people.
Yeah, I was going to say for us, like I said, the concert series is free. A lot of times when we're doing an event, it is very targeted for either realtors, prospects to buying a house, or internal appreciation kind of things. So we do lean on the everything is provided for you kind of thing. Sure. The food truck we have coming up. Again, it's just important to us to get people to come. And I assume same thing for you guys.
Yeah, that's really important for the Greater Des Moines Partnership, is making sure that all of the events are accessible to our community. So every event that we've talked about, the World Food and Music Festival, the Farmers Market, are all free to get into, which is really great. Making sure that there's no barriers for people to enjoy what's going on in the community. So having those $2 taste items at the World Food and Music Festival is also a nice way for everyone to enjoy the festival. We also do have at the festival a cap on what the amount the vendors can charge on their food, just to help kind of with that as well. So really, really, really important for the work that we do, and making sure that everyone can attend and enjoy all of the great work that's happening in Des Moines, downtown, and throughout the region.
Something else I was going to ask is, I know on our end, again, we're marketing to a small group of people. What do you guys focus on when you're promoting these events every year? Because the food festival, I know every year that it happens, I don't necessarily look for the marketing. Sure. I'm always like, what are the dates? Can I go?
Yeah, we have a lot of repeat customers like that, like the farmers market, right? Everyone knows that it's every Saturday. But the World Food and Music Festival, we actually changed from September to August last year. So we were a little leery as to, oh no, are people going to catch on? Which they did. We had the biggest crowd that we've ever had last year. But we use social media a lot for our tactics to get the festival and other events in front of people. And then talking to people like you, going on podcasts, going on the news. And there are quite a few different outlets that we use to get the word out. But I would say social media is pretty effective for the work that we're doing. And people a lot of people don't know that the partnership puts on the festival, the downtown farmers market. So I don't think they're necessarily looking on that page. So I think a lot of times people find things by just typing in the World Food and Music Festival, and then they stumble across, oh, the Greater Des Moines Partnership puts that on. So it's, social media and word of mouth and our repeat customers, I would say, are the biggest ways that we get the word out.
Laura's being very modest about your latest events, because I think that outside of, the realtors and some of the other smaller groups, you also you're placemaking. It's about making communities feel like a community, like Grace Station, making it feel like a neighborhood. It's relatively new. It's still growing, but you had 300 people at your first concert series, which is
that's amazing.
That was
right?
It was our biggest one, because what we started the concert series in 2019.
Believes 2019, and
we skipped 2020.
I know how that goes. So yes, I believe so. And it was really a small, it was meant to be more like a block party for the neighbors.
And the neighbors,
You've taken it to the next
level.
This
year we've tried to expand on the vendors a little bit, and that has helped. We had a guy come last week, and I didn't know he was coming until day of, but then he said, hey, I'm an artist and I have a tent that I'm ready to bring. And he said, I'll be here next time if you want me. And I said, sure, if you have any friends, please come back. Like you said, we want to expand it. Yeah. I know we've done a little more advertising with Catch Des Moines and things like that. Cool. But yeah, we've kind of ramped it up as far as invites and making it more of a community. And we had our second one a few weeks ago, and it was a little less attended, but I mean, we were still probably at 70 people.
Love that.
Which in years past, we'd be at 25, just the people who live directly in the area.
Yeah.
So yeah, really kind of cultivating that. It is an experience. It is something to do. We changed the day of the week. It used to be on Thursday, so we would compete with Jasper Winery for their concert, but now we're on a Wednesday, and I think that has helped too. So
that's smart.
Again, proving that, hey, please live downtown. There is something to do here, and it is free, and we have drinks, we have food trucks, occasional vendors.
As someone who lives, works, and plays downtown, I'm always looking for something to do. And I think that's one of my favorite things about Des Moines and why I've stayed here so long is there's no shortage of things to do. I always can find something to do, whether it's something like a concert series like that or a large festival or, Yankee Doodle Pops or whatever. There's so many things to do, and I love that about Des Moines. The placemaking piece is really, really important and incredible as well. And I think that Des Moines done a really good job of ramping that up. Recently, I know that we have an initiative of that where we've started some pop-up activations.
I was going to say, I have a video of my husband and I on the teeter-totter.
Yeah.
That's probably not what they're called, but in elementary school, that's what they were called.
Yeah.
I don't know the proper name for that installation, but that was so much fun. I ran over to those like a kid at Christmas.
Yes, those were really fun. We also had an event where we partnered with the National Balloon Classic and popped up literally hot air balloons across the region, which was really fun. We had people driving from each balloon location and like, oh my gosh, I was just in Ankeny and I had to come to Altoona to find this balloon. It was incredible to see. That had in the past had been a downtown event and we moved it regionally. And the response was just great. And so our team is working on some more of those fun pop-up activations. We're doing yoga at the market sometimes with Power Life. That's another pop-up that we're doing. Bouquet making class with some of our farmers market vendors. And then there's a hide and seek ornament event that we do in the winter where we partner with local artists and then we just hide their ornaments throughout downtown. We've gone throughout the region on that one as well. And it's just so fun. People sometimes are following us when we're hiding them. So we try to go around the block.
You have to wait till 9 a.m. to start the race.
I was say they're ready.
We'll actually not drop them off and go around the block and wait for people to not find us. But it's been really fun too. Yeah. So there will be some other fun pop-up events that we're working on. So I'd just say stay tuned for some of those fun things that we have.
I was like the balloon one a couple of years ago. I made my boyfriend at the time drive around. He's like, what are we doing? I'm like, we're going to look at balloons. We're having a good time.
Yeah. Can I just say boyfriend at the time?
At the time.
Because he's a fiance now.
No, it's very fresh. No.
Which is a whole different other event to plan, right?
You're well prepared.
Well prepared. And fiance is also, he's a golf pro. And so he does all of their events for tournaments and stuff too. So we are well versed. Yes. Do we have any plans right now? No, but
that's okay.
You'll get there. Can we talk about winter plans? Because that is, again, as much as the weather has worked with us this year, we have to still place make and do all of those important things in the winter months as well.
Yeah, the winter is when I'm always looking for something to do. Yeah. As someone who's a huge basketball fan, I don't necessarily always want to be sitting on the couch watching basketball.
Right.
So, we have the winter's farmers market, which will be in the winter, of course, but it will be inside.
That's why I brought you guys coffee today.
There was the day before a holiday. I know. My brain's tired. So the winter market will take place again where it's going to be at the Iowa Event Center again, and there will be quite a few vendors. We will still have some farmers, some material goods, and some food. So last year we brought it back inside. Before that, the 2 years before, it was outside on Court Avenue, which was quite the experience, let me tell you. One of the days it was actually 60 degrees, surprisingly. But we thought it was time to bring it back inside. So it will be back inside this year. Wow. In 2024. So yeah, that's always a fun one for people to come enjoy. What about you guys? Do you have any winter?
Yeah, not specifically planned. We kind of shift to happy hours in the winter.
Yeah, love that.
We do a lot of, community happy hours for the residents,
Sure.
the apartment renters and things like that. That's kind of where we go. We also lean into our trade appreciation parties and our realtor parties, tend to get everybody together, whether it's before the end of the year or, in January, February, to say, hey, thanks for everything you did this year, and just kind of give somebody something for people to do in the middle of the winter. And,
it's a great time for us to recognize our partners because, again, we somewhat slow down in the winter, but really it's a year-round hustle for our trades. Yeah. And we couldn't build houses. We couldn't build the apartment communities or anything like that without them. So yeah, it is kind of nice just to say, hey, thanks. Let's get people in for some drawings. Let's get people just face to face, because a lot of times we're on the phone and running back and forth with materials and everything. So I think that our associates love it. Our trade partners appreciate it. It's kind of fun, and it breaks up those winter months.
I was saying everyone's so busy in the summer. Not that they aren't busy with the holidays, but it kind of makes it nice to have people have something to look forward to. And yeah, face to name is always good. I had somebody at one last year say, hey, I'm the guy you're always harassing. And I said, so sorry, but so nice to meet you.
But even we got to meet, Alex at All Star Concrete, he has a great social media team, and they're always tagging us in Instagram reels and posts. They make concrete cool. That's what I'm going to try and get them to use that as their slogan. But I'm like, you're the people behind the concrete account. I got it. All right. Keep it up, keep tagging us. And it's just fun to, meet those teams too.
Anything appreciation wise, we try to do a lot of gift giveaways or drawings and that kind of stuff, just to say, hey, we are taking a minute to appreciate everything you guys do for us.
That's super important. Stewardship of your partners are really, really important to make sure that they continue to support you. And it's a two-way street, right? You wouldn't be able to do the work without them. So those are really important to do. And it's nice to do them in the winter too.
Are you guys working on anything that you can talk about, looking out past 2024? Because as much as you have events going on right now, the minute they end, you're back to planning the next round. So what does that future casting look like, and what does the planning look like?
Yeah, so for us, this is still in 2024, but we're having a regional summit in October. So that will be the first time that we're hosting this event. It'll be at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. And the goal is to really connect urban, suburban, and rural communities and make sure that we can facilitate conversations with all of them. Everyone's having a lot of the same problems, right? And a lot of the same wins. So let's get everyone in the room together to kind of share some of those stories and how we can work together to roll some of those things out in a lot of the communities in our region. And then another important and big one that we have is our Greater Des Moines Partnership Annual Dinner. That will be in January. It's always a great time where we can share our successes and wins from the previous year, talk about what our goals are for our organization and for the region for that following year. And then there's always a fun, great keynote speaker. So that one is TBD. So stay tuned for that.
Because I was like, I see it.
She knows. She's just not telling us.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, you guys, we're kind of running up to time, but is there anything else people should know about the events when they're going to an event? I'll say it for everyone, but thank you for all the time and effort and dedication that you put in to making these events happen, because I think people really do appreciate them, whether that is, any of the audiences we've talked about. I think it's just awesome that we're attempting to do that.
I was going to say the big thing that I do a lot of it on my own. Any feedback is good feedback.
Agreed.
If you hate it, if you want something different, if you don't want a happy hour because we've done 12 of them, let me know. I just want to hear good, bad otherwise.
Yeah, I'm also a big proponent of feedback. We can't continue to do the events, right, if we don't know what people enjoy and what they don't enjoy about the event. So always willing to listen and make some of those changes if it fits and works within the event. but we can only be better and stronger if we take into consideration what everyone else is thinking as well. So, I think also just the community of Des Moines is so incredible. The businesses, the small businesses, all of the other event coordinators, directors, and just the people who support and sponsor everything that happens in Des Moines. We wouldn't be able to do any of that without them. So that's super important to recognize as well.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
100%.
And it makes the tents
Yes.
get into place. All right. I have the off the rails question for you guys.
Excellent.
Again, it's a randomly generated question, like everyone knows by now, hopefully, and you're just getting it. So this one's fun. I love it. I'll answer it too if that's helpful, but I'll answer it last. Who was your favorite teacher and why? Can be any. I mean, I would say elementary through college. Yep, you could. Nope, anywhere in between.
I'm trying to remember what grade she was. I was in junior high. My English teacher, maybe 7th grade. Mrs. Sterner. And what's funny is her husband also was a teacher and he was my 6th grade teacher. So I had both of them. So maybe they're both on the same level. But yes, 7th grade English. I loved English. And she was always super supportive. I was friends with her kids as well, because of course, small town. Mm-hmm. But I mean, again, I love everything writing related. And she just always supported me through everything. And she was funny. I never hated going to class. So yeah, both the Sterners, I guess.
I would say one of my middle school teachers, Brad Brubaker, he was also my soccer coach. So it was like a dual purpose. I didn't necessarily like the class that I took from him, but he was an amazing coach and he taught me so much about leadership and about teamwork. I think that was probably the most influential piece. Civics wasn't really my favorite class. When I was in middle school, I was more of a math gal.
But like, no, thank you.
Laura and I are over here like writing English. Yes. Math.
Yeah. I mean, he was a great teacher as well, but he was more so influential in that piece.
Love that. I would say I'm going to choose one, and it would be my 1st grade teacher, and her name was Mrs. Kaba. And it's not just because she gave me Skittles every day before recess.
But it's a perk.
But she did give me the purple and green ones because those are my favorite. But that was a teacher that actually she taught my dad. Again, small town. So she taught my dad. It was her first year of kindergarten, and then she switched to 1st grade. And she had an awesome classroom, but she was so patient. And I went back to visit her, I mean, throughout my entire, elementary, middle school, even high school, because we played our basketball games in the same, school that she was in. So I'd always walk down the hallway as a big kid, walk down there, and even into high school, she was like, "You want some Skittles?" Until she retired. And she was just the sweetest woman and always very, very supportive. And so she's one of my favorites. I also had a fantastic English teacher who in 6th grade really pushed me to get into the creative realm, whether that's writing or, script writing, creative writing, going into TV. He was very influential in that. He's like, you're kind of good at this. And, those people are really important to have. And teachers, man.
Well, I was going to say mine also. So 6th grade also was when Harry Potter was coming out, which ages me. I was exact same age as when the books were coming out.
Me too.
And so, 6th grade into my junior high English, it was like, we are all reading Harry Potter. We are doing it. Please keep reading these amazing books.
Right. I feel like that was a good way for teachers to connect with kids, but they got to kind of do it too. Right. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. That was so fun. It's kind of, it's cool to, peel back the curtain a little bit, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, Wizard of Oz style, but you guys put on, a ton of great events and do a lot of great work. So Gray Station Summer Concert Series, you have 2 more? 3 more?
3 more. We have the next one will be July 24th. And then I don't know the dates in August, September, but they're about that 3rd, 4th Wednesday. So 5 to 7, they're free. Come on down to Paseo.
Excellent. I'm going to have to check those out.
Please do.
Yes. Come on down here. I was going to try and get the dates. August 21st is one. And then do we have one in September?
We do. This is the first time we're trying a more fall date. So
I don't see the September one, but I know August 21st is the next one. And then obviously Farmers Market coming up on Saturday.
Absolutely. Every single Saturday through October. We will be on Court Avenue.
Bright
4:30 a.m. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, and you can catch Dig It, a real estate podcast on YouTube if you want to see these fine ladies bright and early in the morning. That's why they have their Smoky Row, sponsored by Smoky Row Coffee this morning. Or you can catch Dig It on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcasts. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.